Welcome to a Lawless Podcast, where real stories come to life. Broadcasting from the tri-state area, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey, we're just one stop away from the DMV, bringing you raw, unfiltered conversations that matter. At a Lawless Podcast, we bridge cultures and communities, connecting people from all backgrounds and walks of life.
Today, why are men less committed to one woman in this day and age? Why the guys seem to have more than one woman? Why? And that's a question. So we get it from the perspective of a female. What is it? What do you think that men are not committed these days to one female in their lives? Just tend to have more than one. You think it's a traditional thing? You think it's a manly thing? You think it's biological? What do you think?
I think that it's biological, first and foremost. I do believe that it's biological. I also believe that there are a lot of things that are biological. Going to the bathroom is biological. That doesn't mean I'm going to squat in the middle of the floor right here and do it, right? Yes. So in order for a man to have more than one woman, it requires free will. So in addition to it being biological, I think that it's just socially acceptable in everybody's society. Men aren't made to be monogamous. Women tend to forgive the infidelity in a way that men do not forgive infidelity from us. So women are almost forced into being monogamous because you guys tend not to forgive us when we stray. Okay. When y'all stray, our mothers tell us to take you back. So right? And so do our fathers and our uncles and our cousins and our brothers. So you're allowed to. You're allowed to. If we all banded together and said, no more, then you wouldn't. And there also has to be someone to sleep with you. Okay. Right? So if my husband sleeps with another woman, there has to be a woman that's willing to sleep with my husband.
So the woman play a part in...
We play the only part. We play the only part. We allow it and we participate.
Allow and participate. So you are pro and con, female, don't do this, men, don't do those, don't have more than one woman in your life.
No, I would say that I'm largely not monogamous myself. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm forced into monogamy. If I had my choice, I'd have each and every one of y'all. But I'm sexually monogamous. Okay. Right? I think in a perfect world, if any one of us could take 5 or 6 different people and put them together and make the perfect mate, we would. But there are very few men that are going to allow me to do that. So I'm forced into monogamy. Okay. I'm also non-possessive. I'm non-possessive. So you won't catch me checking phones and looking for other women, and because I do live in reality. Okay. I'd rather not know. But if I do know.
Same question go to Ali. You're a man. From a man's standpoint, I know you're from Africa, grew up in Africa. From an African man standpoint, why?
I mean, it comes down to real commitment. Men are just afraid of committing. Even those that are in commitment, they tend to have reservations on how to continue. Because biologically, men are just polygamous, most men. But society standards tends to dictate how we continue with relationships. And that's why sometimes we just try to stick to one. But it's really very difficult. And for a man, you go and have sex with someone else, it's just the moment. It does not have anything to do with connections.
Emotions and connection, right?
Just like what Lorna was saying earlier, some women will make it easy for some men to even go out there and cheat because they make it easy for you. Mm-hmm. And now you're exposed to either to do it or not do it. So now when you do, society will define you.
Society defines you.
Yes.
See who you really are. That's
correct. So for a man, it's just the moment. it's a 5-minute thing, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, you are out. And
5 minutes.
And you never call. Well,
Let's take 5.
Well, some even last for 2 minutes. So I'm being mutually.
5 is good. Yeah, 5 minutes is good, right?
I'm being mutually.
At least 5 minutes, right?
Well, not really. But that's what I'm trying to say. But the point is, it's just that moment that matters. That moment for a man, and they are out. They will not even call. They will not even check anymore.
So the men don't build that connection.
They don't build connections.
A female will build that connection.
A female will build connection. Mostly, they go with their heart. They go with their soul. Now, they want to stick around. They want to know more. They want to explore you more. They want to get more. So that's what makes the difference. But for men, it's just the moment.
So is it okay for a man
One night stand, out and about. 6 o'clock morning, don't call me no more. I'm out.
That's it. So is it okay for a man to have more than one female? Is it okay? When you think about culturally and
it's all depends. If you're a
so
Mormon,
are we going to put religion in this too?
Religion.
I mean, it does play.
I mean, I'm
about to take my shahada.
There you go.
I'm not taking no shahada.
Every culture condones it.
Society norm.
Every culture, every society condones polyamorous behavior for men.
Right. So
but never for women.
Yeah.
My guy here was talking off air, and he had a strong, perception about men having more than one female. So
I just think it's personal preference.
And you say it's what? It was selfish, right?
I said the act of you choosing somebody else to be, because I believe in quality over quantity.
Okay.
So if I get one that can do all, I'm okay with it.
Who can do all?
And that's just my personal
Good
opinion.
question.
Who can do all? Who can ever do all?
Who can do all in the sense where I want to meet you where you at and where I'm at, in the sense where you can be my emotional support. You can be that one person I go always socially. You can be that one person that I come back with. You can be that one person who can raise a family together. That's why I want them.
The hottest event of the summer is here. Olalis Entertainment presents the annual all-white dinner party. Get ready for an elegant, unforgettable night filled with glamour, music, and networking with the movers and shakers of the city. This is where the elite gather, where business meets pleasure, and where you need to be. Dress code, all white, elegance required. Music by the hottest DJs. DJ Mike L.I.B., DJ Jim Mons, DJ Afrique, DJ Buka. Fine dining, VIP treatment. Network with the top professionals and entrepreneurs. Be seen, be heard, be part of the movement. Limited tickets available. Reserve your spot now.
Personally, if there's other men out there that want to do these things, I can see there's a way to go about it in a way where you can keep the other person aware of it so that they can be aware of it. If you choose that path, I would say, I'd rather tell you, say, hey, I know you do this, you do that. If I want a second woman, I'd rather tell you than you catching me.
Right.
Or you just going to tell her I'm one that I want?
I'd rather you tell her.
My man.
I think that there are enough women out there that are accepting of it. Like minds should be with like minds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think if we get back, you from America, you go to the African culture, to the African dominance. Man, want to be dominant. I want to be the king of the village. It's a cultural norm. Do you think the African culture makes men that way?
No, I don't. I think
that men are
No, I think men are just that way.
Man to man.
I mean, so you're going to see it. You see it here even in the United States of America. So the reason why you may feel as though it's more prevalent in Africa is because of the African woman. But you bring that same African woman and you bring her here and you educate her and you give her money without you and you give her job opportunities, and we'll see how far your African dominance goes.
I was just waiting for that.
So when you take a woman and you oppress her, then it is very easy
like
to...
she's home,
right?
Delivering it. She's taking care of the domestic part, and you go to work, come back.
That's control.
Kind of control her,
right.
and where you can have one on one.
You don't educate her. You don't give her the opportunity. Right. So honestly, to me, that's not true dominance. And so true dominance is... Hold on one second. Let me land and I'll give it to you. I promise. True dominance is a man that is able to have that dominance without dangling the purse straps. Okay. Right? Because true masculinity is going to bring out true femininity, and she's going to lead. You're going to lead, and she's going to follow without you having to, take money away from her to make her do it. Yeah.
And based on what she said, right? Cultural difference, and also early upbringings, in the sense where we looking at a lady in Africa that just say, "You my brother, something happened to me, I'm not here no more.
Take care of the family.
You got to stay back there and marry my wife."
That's a village culture.
That's traditional culture. So when we go back to traditions and other things like that, when we touch into it, that's those people's way of life. So when you move into a different environment, it's a whole different way of life, because when these women is not being forced to do these things, now they got a choice to say, "Oh yes, I want to be a part," or "I don't want to be a part." I think that's where I look at a man saying, "Oh yeah, I'm dominant." If you can tell her, if you can ask her instead of forcing something on her, then that's when you look more dominant. But if you're forcing her, I look at that as something else that we don't even want to touch into.
Okay. Social media.
And just to, before we jump into social media, just to add to what Lorna said, and that's a very good point, and I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of mistakes that we do as African men, we tend to bring women in this country and try to run our homes based on the African way of doing business. It's very erroneous. I don't even know how to define it. It's very wrong, because with time, they get metamorphosed into the system. They got acclimate themselves into the system. And one of the roles that put us on top in Africa is because the man is always the one who goes and brings something to the home. And now you have a woman home that is making way more than what you're making financially. Now you do not have much to say, brother. Right. Because now that woman's role is not just to take care of the home domestically. You have to know the difference now that she is financially capable, she's enlightened, she knows what's going on, she knows the status quo. So you just can't wake up in the morning and say, "Go do my laundry." Right. "Where is my food?"
Right.
That's a difference.
You take care of the kids.
If you're playing your hand correctly, and I think that's where most men go wrong, not just African men, right?
Right.
If you play your hand correctly, you can. Listen, I could get any man in this room to do anything I want you to do. Honestly.
Oh, yeah? Facts.
Listen, if I didn't just tell you that.
Tell me about it.
It's too late, because I already told you, right? So you're gonna be looking for it. But I'll explain to you how.
I like that.
It is my God-given power.
There you go.
To make you do whatever I want you to do.
But that's true, though.
It's my femininity.
That's true.
It's my essence. My essence was created to get you to do what I need you to do. Right. Which is to care for me, to take care of me, to provide for me.
And I can agree also with you on that. Most women just don't know how to do it.
We don't.
But you're right. Absolutely, you're right.
It's true.
Yep.
And the same thing applies for men with masculinity. You can get me your masculinity, your God-given masculinity, right? Your nature to, I don't want to say dominate, but for lack of a better word, I'll say dominate. Right? That masculinity is going to get me to do whatever you want me to do. So I'll do your laundry. I will take care of your children. I will, if you play your cards the way you're supposed to play your cards.
That's true.
But when you start barking orders at me in this country,
I think it's everywhere now.
And Lorna, that was the reason why I was saying that. But for cultures outside here, you can have them do everything and still preside as the chief boss.
Right. Whether they want to or not.
Yes.
But wouldn't you far rather wouldn't you want to lead me instead of pushing me?
Correct.
Because it's so much, the soup is so much sweeter when I wanted to cook it for you. Okay. When I sprinkle it with love instead of spitting in it.
So now social media and these dating apps. Right?
Yes.
Which one are we talking about?
Did they play a part in changing men's perception about monogamy? Social media, dating app.
Absolutely.
Did they play a part?
They do. And I just don't want you to start going first.
Yeah, go ahead. It's you first, Ali. Go ahead.
They do, because we do have a lot of social media apps about dating like Tinder, they have all of them. They don't have, I'm not saying standards, but most women there, what they're looking for? Sex. And now you ended up with 1, 2, 3 as a man. Maybe you don't know how to cover your tracks. The woman home finds out. I mean, one I can understand, but some men are going
just
ballistic. You know, when I say ballistic,
just go to that social media app and just go.
Right. So now you ended up with too much.
You cause yourself problems.
I mean, and the woman finds out, it might be hard for you to repair that mess.
Okay.
Especially when you have that woman home doing a lot of the things to keep the home going. Now, seeing a lot of women on your social media contact, it's just not gonna cut the game for you to continue with that relationship.
I'm looking at
this guy is an influencer. He downloads a lot of female. I watched this page before.
Okay.
Got a lot of female pictures.
Oh, now you're gonna tell us about it.
Send him shout out on their birthdays. So that's the guy. If you want your birthday shout out, go to my man.
Oh, okay.
LIB Wall Star. So social media, your page.
Yes.
Does it play an influence on guys not being faithful to one woman? Your page, because I've seen a lot of people on your page.
I think I look at it like this, right? If you're not satisfied, even if it's not my page, it will be somebody else's page.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how I look at it. In a sense where if you looking for something that you're not supposed to be looking for, that's on you. My page is just there just to be there. Regardless if you look or you don't look, it's still going to be there. So I'm not like a tutor to you that will say, okay, I'm a relationship advisor. Don't come on my page. Don't come look for this. If you come there, welcome.
Okay.
We got more to show.
So you promote?
I promote beautiful, young-looking women that could look attractive to some single men.
Yeah, so attractive.
But most of the time, these women could have a man. And if these women, too, on the other hand, if these guys go in their inbox and ask them, are you single? If they say yes, that's on them.
So if a girl, has she ever asked you, can you post my picture so I can find boyfriend?
Yes.
See? So I
have.
Social media and dating app play a part. Coming to Ms. Lorna, the social media dating app, does it play a part in men not being faithful to one woman?
Your original question was, does it change a man's perspective?
It did change a man's perspective.
Absolutely not. Men have never been monogamous.
Okay.
They have not been monogamous since biblical times. Okay. We don't need social media to make a man cheat.
True.
What it does do, though, it makes a man delusional. Okay? And I say that because you're open to women. Same thing for me, for women, right? I am open to men all across the world that I would never, without social media, ever come in contact with. And they're all, oh, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, you're that. How many times in a day, just walking down the street, am I going to be called beautiful? As I can go on social media and get called beautiful 50 times in an hour.
Facts.
Right?
In 30 minutes.
So what it does is, first of all, it gives a man a delusional idea of what his options really are for a woman, right? So it can get him to thinking, what I have at home is not quite good enough. So I got this Instagram whore that's showing some interest in me, right? And also it makes it a little bit easier to cheat. Okay. Because you have access. But it doesn't change the perspective. Y'all going to figure out. You're going to find a way. Yeah. It gives you easy access.
So you think the female enable these guys to cheat?
Absolutely.
Enable.
Yeah, I think.
So they enable them to, do things all the way, get more than one.
You cannot cheat on your wife with me unless I participate.
And also, mind you have to understand the fact that they're also looking for time, good time. Mm-hmm. So now you have to look at it from that perspective, like LIB World Star, what you just said. Women ask you to get me a hookup.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say women.
No.
He said that's why. That's
boyfriend.
what I meant when I said, "Do you really
so look for a boyfriend?" Okay, yeah.
I don't think that's
can you post my picture?
Thanks for getting me correct too.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna let you continue, and after that, I'm gonna speak on where you going.
No, yeah. So what I was saying is simple. Like they make the process easy too.
Easier for the man to have
for the man. Yeah. Because now that the chauvinist mindset of a man and the polygamous mindset of a man, and now you're making it even a lot easier for him to have too many options.
Too many options.
Of all shapes.
So to jump in quick,
Yes,
Will you be? Are you trying to say that a lot of men are weak-minded?
So now,
when it comes to sex, yes.
that bring us back to the emotional and psychological effect of there's something psychological with guys having more than one females in it. Absolutely. And stuff like that. So having that value, and that value is different. But psychologically, they are empty, right?
Correct.
So they're empty. They need that validation. That's why they have more than one female.
So this is the thing. I think that where we mess up as male and females in general, right, is that women think that men think like us and men think we think like you. Men value sex so much in a way that we don't really. So, Ali, when you made the comment that, women are looking for a good time, right? When they're posted, I don't care how they could be butt booty behind naked, right? At heart, I don't think a woman is ever really looking for a good time. I think that they use sex to attract men because we know that that's what's going to attract you. And conversely,
but that's part of good time too.
Well, when you say good time, I'm thinking that you're saying that a woman is looking to just
have fun,
and just and not the relationship.
I think.
And heart, I think that they're really looking for the relationship component, but they use sex to get it, right? Mm-hmm. But and then the flip side of it is when a man has sex with a lot of women, because sex is so important to men, you really think that that's validating. You really think somebody wants you.
Psychological. It's psychological.
Right. But that's not necessarily how a woman is thinking, right? But it's just, it's all about the differences in what women value and men value.
But that's also become harder for a woman to look for a stable relationship. Because study shows after 5 body counts, it becomes really difficult for you to remain in a stable relationship.
After 5 body counts?
After 5 body counts?
5.
1,
Wait.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Are you statistically speaking, or you just going just?
He said study shows.
According to
that's crazy.
According to a study. So
well, I did not make up.
After 5
or 6 body count for a woman, it becomes very hard because now, this is the reason now. Now you started comparing Ali to JJ. You started comparing to LIB Worcester. What are his performance level? You started comparing the financial successes. You started comparing the looks. You started comparing the energy in the bedroom. So there are a lot of things that you started comparing in this situation. Now it becomes harder for you to stick with one relationship.
So you think your partner influence, like a woman attitude influence what a man do, out there in the street?
I think his answer was...
What if he's not getting what he wants?
Then leave. Bye.
Then leave.
I can never make you do anything.
Okay.
I can't even influence you to do anything.
Talk about behavior. Your behavior in the home. Does it influence a man to go and seek validation from other females in the street?
It can influence you to be unhappy.
Unhappy. That unhappiness leads to...
That's your choice. What you do with that unhappiness. Okay. I was grossly unhappy with my husband for most of our marriage. I never cheated on him. I left him.
So that's different. So you're speaking from a female standpoint. Female would rather stay there than a man who would say, I don't want to lose my family.
I'm speaking from... So this is the thing. We do all of this talking about women leave. Like you hear all of these podcasters talking about all the red pill men, talking about how women leave relationships and men stick it out. That's not what you're doing. You're staying, but you have 5 or 6 girlfriends on the side. We leave because we tend not to cheat.
So I'm not just leaving. I'm just going to stay and
I'm going to just stay.
And do me.
Make my wife's life miserable.
And be for the street.
Okay.
You're not really staying.
Not leaving.
We leave because we're not out here with 5 or 6 different men to satisfy us. You don't satisfy us, we leave you.
So let's talk about a consequence. Now we get into the end. Consequence. What are some of the consequences for a guy who, want to seek validation, have too many females? What's some of the consequences you see in a society? Let's start with him. What's some of the consequences that you try to avoid? Because you say you want to stick with one woman. So.
I'm sticking with one, man.
So what do you think is some of the consequences? Because there must be some type of point in your life that you realize that, damn, I need to get my shit together. So what happened in your life that you figured out, say, you know what? I'm going to stick with one woman. Something must have happened in your life, that epiphany, right? You're looking like, damn, God bless me. If I had done this, I would have been somewhere else. So what was the epiphany in your life?
Sorry to cut you off. I think I would just go back to self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And also, too, another thing that changed my perspective on that was me being a girl dad. So I wouldn't want to treat a girl the way somebody else is going to treat my daughter. Okay. So now I'm looking at it from a whole different perspective in the sense where it's okay for me to tell you, like, yo, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go do that. If I don't want a relationship, I'd rather tell you I don't want a relationship. I'm just having fun. Okay. So you can know. I think the problem is that we feel like we change people. We can change people. Mm-hmm. And that's what caused the problem. And when these problems come, you can't control it because you already built a monster.
So what do you think, Ali?
The question is, again, you said consequences.
The consequences. What do you think about the consequences, will be for a man having multiple, sex partner or multiple females? What's the consequence?
Let's say if you're married, you have to think about breakup. Mm-hmm. Now, divorce is imminent in that point because let's say if the woman sees a lot of things, they would not just have the gumption or the energy to continue with all this. That will lead to separation or divorce. The other thing you have to, as a man, you have to think about medical consequences. Mm-hmm. You're having multiple women. Do you think about the health portion of it? Mm-hmm. And some are so reckless without using any protection. Mm-hmm. So you have to think about the medical consequences that comes with it. And you have to think about the psychological and the emotional. Mm-hmm. If you have kids in this relationship, now these kids, some of them are going to suffer, trust me. And a lot of kids that ended up in prison today, if you look at the statistics, I don't have it on top of my head.
Always.
But the statistics for most guys in jail are from broken families. Yeah. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them in prison. Yes, a lot of the number. So that comes... A majority of it comes from cheating.
So you look at the long term.
So you have to look at the long term.
Yeah, long term.
I mean, like what Larry Douglas said, it's good to raise good children than to repair a broken man. Because once a man is broken, you cannot repair this man. Some men are irreparable. Once they're broken, they're done. That's it. Forget about it. You cannot do nothing in the face of this planet. You cannot even bring Jesus Christ.
They're not coming back. They're just
that's it.
They're bent on that.
Yeah. So you have to think about the separation or the divorce part. You have to think about the medical component. You have to think about the psychological and the emotional and the kids.
So come to Lona. Lona, the same question. The consequence, long-term, short-term, of a man from a female perspective. What do you think the consequence is going to be? Are you going to, I know you kind of, I'm going to show you that consequence right now.
You don't know me at all,
I'll bust you in your head.
No.
I can tell.
Never.
He would be scared of.
First of all,
he's going to be scared.
Let me ask you a question. He might be scared.
There you go.
Do you think I can beat you? Like
no.
Hand to hand? Exactly.
No.
So I'm never coming straight for you. I'm going to come all the way behind
around you.
Okay. Oh yeah, we'll go all the way around the mulberry bush, but yeah, that's a consequence. You have your life. I mean, people are out here killing people for less.
Facts, man.
There are a lot of dead and buried men, polyamorous men.
Okay. Can you change a man?
Can I change a man? Can I change a man? No, I can. I can make it so that a man wants to change.
Redirect the guy, right?
Nope, I can't even redirect you. Nope. My energy, my Lorna-ness can make a man want to change.
Say that again.
My Lorna-ness. My essence.
Your excellence.
And not
my essence.
Essence.
My essence.
Yes. Essence. Your essence can make the guy.
Can make a man want to change.
Want to change.
I cannot make you change.
Okay.
I agree to that, man.
Have you dated a guy who was just a cheater? Just, oh my God,
I have no idea. So I say all the time, because remember I told you I'm non-possessive.
Yes.
I would never know if a man was
because
cheating.
You're not going.
You would have to do it, right? I would have to walk in my living room.
Yeah. So because you're not going there.
I say all the time I've never been cheated on. Okay. That I know of. I'm sure I have, but
when you don't look for it, you won't find it.
Exactly. And the thing is, if you look for it, what are you going to do?
Cry.
Once you find out.
Cry.
If you're not leaving, you're just hurting your own feelings. Mm-hmm. And if you really want to leave, you don't need proof that somebody's cheating. Just leave.
Okay. There was a very beautiful topic. And before we leave, we're going to start with, we gave the female her, her essence and her queen, her
Lunaness.
castle, their lunaness and her queen castle.
Come into play.
What do you have? I want you to say something to men out there that like to be dogs. The dog men.
The dog men.
The dog men.
Okay.
What are you gonna say to the dog men?
What I want to say to the dog men is just be honest. Find a woman that's going to be okay with you being a
you're
dog.
a dog.
Yeah, it's enough
Just
women
bark.
out there. You're loud.
Loud
And proud.
Loud and proud.
Stop being sneaky and slick and ruining
Don't
lives.
be a sneaky dog. Now you're a cat now.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's why they got
You're a dog.
they got this trend going on right now called "We Listen, We Don't Judge."
We're listening, we don't judge.
That's how I look at it.
Right.
My nephew told my nephew like 10 years ago told his mom, "Oh, let's play this game. We're listening, we don't judge."
You can't do it with your
I will
parents.
whoop you.
Right, it doesn't work.
Yes, I was cracking up. He said, "I'll whoop you. Listen, you don't judge." So Ali, you spoke about the men perspective. I want you to give the African man perspective. What you said to African brothers out there that just can't do it.
You have to match up with the times.
Okay.
You have to match up with the times. And if you're, there is a saying that says, if you're in Rome, you as the Romans. I mean, I don't want to say come to the U.S. and be American 100%. No. Once you spend a lot of time over there, you keep your cultural background in yourself. But there are tweaking you have to do. You have to tweak a lot of things around you to match up to the current times. Let's say if you're getting married to an African American, you're getting married to a typical American that was born and raised here. The ball game is not gonna be the same, brother. And you have to understand that. The culture is gonna clash, definitely, if you keep presenting your culture.
And you got to separate yourself from the other dogs.
Correct. And you have to understand where they're coming from.
Got to put the breed somewhere else.
Be responsible.
Okay.
Don't be reckless.
Sure.
Be cheating, but you got to be responsible cheating,
well,
right?
I'm not saying cheating. I'm not sending a message here for people to cheat. No.
He's trying to throw you under the bus right now, man.
Lord, I said be responsible.
I agree.
Well,
There
be
is
responsible.
cheating.
Recklessness. Just
There's reckless cheating.
Bark in the dark.
See,
Right?
If you're going to cheat,
Just barking it.
I say no cheating. Just
Well,
find
if
a
you're
woman
gonna
that's
cheat,
okay.
you
Find
gotta
a
be respectful,
polyamorous
right?
woman.
Yep.
But if you're married, if you're with a monogamous woman, yes, bark in the dark. Don't embarrass me. Don't bring home diseases and children and other women knocking at my door.
Yeah. Bark in the dark.
Bark in the dark.
And the out on the go fire away.
LIB
Do it fire away. Do it fire from home.
Yeah. Do it far away from home.
Fire from home.
So the next time we talk about this topic, right, we're going to talk about females. Okay. We talk about males. Oh, males.
Right.
Talk about females now.
Yep.
Why the word changing, right? Females are like men now. They want to have multiple
in most
partners.
societies, yeah.
They're like men now, right? So we're going to talk about the female part, right? So this is a nice topic. Again, I appreciate you guys. So we're looking forward to more, more to come in this year, right? Thank you again. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Ali, and thank you, LIB Wallstar.
Thank
It was nice, meeting you guys, right? Thank you.
I know, right?
Peace out. Wow.
The hottest event of the summer is here. Olalis Entertainment presents the annual all-white dinner party. Get ready for an elegant, unforgettable night filled with glamour, music, and networking with the movers and shakers of the city. This is where the elite gather, where business meets pleasure, and where you need to be. Dress code, all white, elegance required. Music by the hottest DJs. DJ Mike LIB, DJ Jim Mons, DJ Afrique, DJ Buka. Fine dining, VIP treatment. Network with the top professionals and entrepreneurs. Be seen, be heard, be part of the movement. Limited tickets available. Reserve your spot now.